We are officially live. Hello, everybody. We'll let everybody
I
kind of
can
funnel in here for a second, and
Island.
then we'll get started. Um,
Um, can I
Good
just
stuff.
copy this and share it that way? I have no idea how I have to share this so it shares properly.
We're gonna share.
Oh, that seems to work.
Cool. Hi, Crystal. Good evening.
Oh, Crystal's here. We like Crystal. Crystal's very nice. I
Oh,
need to start, Bradley, I think I'm gonna start insulting like random people. One of every 15 people I talk about is gonna be an insult. Because I feel like
interesting.
if you're nice to everybody, like
Mm,
all the time,
hmm
that it loses its meaning. So I feel like it would mean more if I say something nice to you, if I insult you once out of every 15 times.
There is a strange logic to that.
I think that's back scientifically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
looks like it's
Labyrinthia is
morning.
here, and she sent me she's one of the people who sent me a poem.
Good stuff. Hi, Labyrinthia. And it's also morning for Nobody from Anywhere. I love that name.
Oh,
Cool.
we have
All right.
wildfires, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. Well, we're coming
if
up.
all of a sudden my screen goes white and
Yeah.
you hear screaming, it's the wildfire got me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Wendy. Good to see you. So we're coming up. Just about 10 people joined so far. So, Stefan, if it's cool with you, I'll kick us off with the first poem, and then we'll just alternate like usual.
That works for me.
Okay. Perfect. All right, sweet. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started here. Yeah, this is the third live poetry reading that Stefan and I have done. We're planning on doing these every month. And something to keep an eye out for if this is your first time here is both Stefan and I, usually a couple of weeks ahead of time, we'll put out some sort of note or a subscriber chat thread in my case, where you can submit links to poems that we'll read on the live streams here. It's how we get the poems that we're reading each time. Um, and I myself, I just read them in the order that they were submitted, and I do keep the leftovers. Like for example, I have some links from last time if we're able to get to them, but we'll see. But it's always super fun. So thank you everyone who's here already. And we'll get started here. Stefan and I basically just trade off reading them out loud, and then we spend a few minutes talking about it. And obviously, we want to hear from you in the chat as well. If you have any thoughts on any of the pieces here, it's always really fun, really good stuff. So I'm excited to get started.
And half the time the
So
chat has better ideas than we do.
yeah, it's true. Yep. All right. So, yeah, like I said, readings in the order they were submitted to me. The first one that I've got here is a poem called "After the Bombs Dropped" by Mina Howell. And I think it might have been the last live poetry reading we did, but we read a poem that was inspired by Baldur's Gate from Nova Heart. Was the author. This piece here, the reason why I bring that up is because this "After the Bombs Dropped" is inspired by Fallout 4. Apparently, Mina has been playing in. So if you're a fan of the Fallout series, you might catch some interesting references here. But let me go and read "After the Bombs Dropped" by Mina Howell. It seemed like mere seconds since the bombs dropped, but my neighbors are long gone, and the world I knew swapped with a new, horrid order where human kindness has stopped. I have one mission to find what's been taken while I was helpless and asleep, but now I've awakened. Every step brings new challenges as I traverse the God-forsaken. But the further I travel, the more people expect. They want me to save them, no matter the side effect. But who can I truly trust? Who is merely a suspect? 200 years later, humanity has rotted from within, everyone expecting help from me, but my own mission is a sin. Now that I think about it, isn't that how it's always been? Well, I've decided no more. I no longer want to fall in line, even if humanity remains fractured, leaving countless lives to decline. The rad storms show me all that matters is saving my bloodline. What can one person do when their life is held in stasis? With the extinction of give and take, and heaven is a radiationless oasis. They look at me like I'm their messiah, but death and I are on a first name basis. Good stuff. And much like my post on Substack, Mina put a song pairing here at the end, and it's specifically "I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire," which is often the song you hear in like Fallout game trailers. So I like that. I like that touch there. But yeah, just to kind of kick off the discussion here, obviously, like I said, this is inspired by Fallout 4. And, Fallout 4, I have started it multiple times, but I've never finished the main story. That being said, I know that part of the main story is that your character was in one of the underground vaults when the bombs fell, and when they wake up, their wife and child are gone, if I'm not mistaken. So part of the story is trying to track down, what happened to them, basically. And so you see some of those, little nuggets of like Easter eggs in there with Mina's poem here. But the other thing that I really like about this is how it pulls from, and again, if you're a fan of Fallout, this will be very recognizable, but it kind of pulls from this concept that, like, the post apocalyptic world is obviously like destroyed and like really different, but it really just kind of brings out the true colors of humanity in the sense that, like, these things were just better hidden before the world ended. You know what I mean? Like that, there's that line that's like, yeah, humanity has rotted from within. I feel like, again, with Fallout, it's like a commentary on how this was always kind of human nature, but now that the world has ended, everybody gets kind of, an excuse to, show their true colors, if you will. But I'm rambling. I just love Fallout. but but yeah, are you a Fallout fan, Stefan? Have you ever played those games?
I have played the third one, and I've played New Vegas. I've never played the fourth one.
Mm, yeah,
Um, but yes, I'm a Fallout fan. I just have never got around to playing the fourth one. I found it. I find it gets increasingly hard to find time to play a game like that.
that's very, very true. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's true. But yeah, so now that I've finished yapping about this one here, did you have any thoughts at all on this first poem
Uh,
after the bombs
I
dropped?
liked the radiationless heaven line.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe it's the jaded part of me, but I find the bar, that's a low bar. If your heaven is just, well, it didn't have radiation, so it's heaven. That's just a low bar. So I found it like darkly amusing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, good grief, you'd think I'd smoke or something. Um, Otherwise, yeah, it gave me Fallout vibes, and it would echo what you
Yeah,
said about
definitely had
about
that.
it.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I also like the radiationless, heaven/oasis rhyme there. And then, you know me, Stefan, I always like, ever since I started reading poetry, I've
End of
always
the
just
poem,
been so
Bradley. End of the poem. End of the poem. Last line every
I
time.
really like the ending of poems. I like it when they leave you like they leave like an echo, right, on the ending. I really love when
Uh,
poetry does that.
yes, the tainted quill. Tainted quill. We can probably start dropping links in the chat before we read them,
Sure. Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
Bradley's okay with that.
Yeah, totally fine. What I was going to say too, Tainted Quill, is that something that Stefan and I do is we post the recording of these streams shortly thereafter. And in that post, I will have a link, or excuse me, links to all the poems. We include those in the recording. And perfect. Thank you, Edward, for
Oh,
dropping that
excellent!
in
Look
there.
at that. The chat is on the ball here.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, and I guess you can just copy and paste it out of the chat. That should work, right? Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. We can put the links in the chat, like I said, and when I post the recording of this, we'll have links to everything too. I'm a big proponent of making sure everybody gets credit and views on their work. So, all right,
Yeah,
awesome,
sure.
awesome, awesome. Great start with that one. So what do you have to read first, Stefan?
I have. Oh, I'll post this. I'll post the link in the chat so I don't forget. Haha.
Smart.
This is from Leela Cave Park.
Okay.
I'm gonna pronounce her name right for this time. Uh, oh, and she has beautiful hand drawn artwork that she did herself on this
Ooh,
one.
nice. I'm gonna open the link actually since we have it in the chat.
Uh,
That's perfect.
so some little extra credit from Leela.
I love there's another poet, Namita Kaul, who I'm sure many of you recognize, who also has original art paired with the poems, and I love that. That's like my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah. Fair
So
enough.
good.
I can see that. I do like original art. Anything that
Yeah.
makes you stand out from the masses of Substack people.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
There's so much Substack. I am kind of amazed there's not a poetry category on Substack though. It seems to be everywhere, and
Yeah.
there's just
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's a
Hopefully one
fiction
day.
one. Fiction seems smaller.
Mm.
Seems like there's half as much fiction, but there's a fiction. So I don't know. Okay, should I read? I should probably do my job and stop
You're
talking about
fine.
your.
We're not in any
I'll
rush.
I'll do my job one of these days. Okay. The title is "It Has Brought Me Down There with Her."
Mm.
Orange low crescent moon at the horizon. Something warm and new pressing through. Wants to be free. Unpeel, pull hard on at each stitch. Because most days I can't breathe. All I need is that one moment. Lay back to follow the flight path of birds, the clouds that spread apart. Sky blue brings bitter tears through my eyes, each image lidded with fear. When it only makes sense at night, the world falls to its knees. Stop asking shit of me. I breathe. But it still takes too much energy. Shouldn't take effort to be me. Unlearn lies, deconstruct the phony personality, laugh with the kid who is scared to get angry, dive in, our bodies slammed into the dirt. I gasp. It hurts, rocks flying, grass ripped, staining knees. You could have been anything. Can it be okay, late bloomer? Can I put back the pieces they moved around? Deep purple, black and blue, ocean waves, alive and rushing, counting the stars, and you're beside me. The moon pulls the tide, brings it all back in place. A soft kiss across my face, where it dips into the horizon. It has brought me down there with her.
Mm.
Um, and I think that I am expected to give my thoughts first. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
Oh boy. Give me a second to.
You're fine. Something I noticed that I wanted to share with the chat here is, at the bottom of that page too, it looks like you can buy art prints of the piece that's featured in the image up top. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's some
so
folks
I.
down there.
Oops. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Um.
I was finished. I just thought that was cool.
There's a. So there's. It starts with that feeling of not being able to breathe in the
Mhm.
first, like, I don't know, the opening verse or two,
Mm,
which I
mhm.
thought was kind of cool in that how it was described as almost like a restrictive garment, like a straitjacket that you unpeel,
Mhm. I can see that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which I thought was kind of cool.
Mhm.
The celestial imagery between like the orange crescent moon versus the deep purple and black of night.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, I think by framing the night as the only time the world falls to its knees and stops making demands, you kind of frame darkness as a sanctuary,
Mhm.
which
Yep.
I thought was kind of interesting.
Yep.
And then the final thing, because I know Bradley likes the end. I know
I like
that's part of this
endings.
book. um, to move from like the the chaos of anxiety at the
Mhm.
beginning, um, to the soft kiss across my face, I believe.
Mhm. Yep.
It's and that could be, and I think this is what this entire poem is about. I think this poem is about a path towards self acceptance.
Mhm.
And I think that's the kiss across the face is the person going from the anxiety of not being comfortable with themselves to accepting themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got on that one.
No, yeah, definitely. I think that that analysis is spot on. Yeah, I definitely resonated with this one, and a lot of the kind of the emotions and sort of like the kind of narrative through line that you described about starting out being with like you can't breathe and how like peace comes with the night. You know, for me that really resonates with me because I also am someone who I feel like I'm definitely a night owl, and I feel like it's true. The world is not peaceful, at least not for me. Like until like late at night, when things are quiet, the world is asleep, as it were. So I definitely resonated with that. I really like how it's some time like in the third stanza bringing forward that imagery of like the twilight hours as like the sun is setting. Like there are a few things in the world that are more beautiful than a sunset like that. And in the right kind of environment that's also like so peaceful, and so I love how that's kind of used to transition into the back half of the poem there. Now, one question I had for you, Stefan, and I'm curious if anybody in the chat has any thoughts on this. It's the ending. So it says so it says at the end, it has brought me down there with her. And right before that, it says, where it dips into the horizon. So when it says her, I assume it's talking about like the sun, right? But I was wondering if there's like any, you know, is there any kind of like deeper, like I was almost thinking like, is there like some sort of parallel to like Greek mythology or something? Like obviously the sun is like Helios in Greek mythology, but the name escapes me. But I know there's like a Greek god of like sleep, for example. So I'm just wondering if you thought there was any deeper symbolism there with that ending when it refers to her, or if that's just talking about the sun.
Okay. I think it's a reference to the kid who got scared, who is
Mm.
too scared to get angry. I think it's an inner child reference.
Okay, so it's referencing themselves, right?
Yeah,
Different version of
I
themselves.
think that's what's going on there. I could be wrong. I don't know of any like what's the Greek goddess with the winged shoes? Oh man, I don't know of any Greek symbolism there.
Hmm, hmm.
I mean, you could. I guess you could
Yeah,
do
I
it
just because it was.
like a muse, like a specific person that like holds a place for you,
Hmm.
like somebody like almost like a I don't want to say a parental figure, but somebody
Yeah,
who is there for you and at the end of your journey.
yeah. Edward says Hypnos, Greek god of sleep. Yeah, yeah. I was just wondering. I don't know why I was pulling that out of there, but I think Stefan, I think you're spot on. I think it was intended to be like you said, like the inner child, that like is hiding kind of in the night where it's safe. I think that's the intention because as soon as you said that, it kind of clicked with me. So that was good. Yeah, no, fantastic work though. I really really like this one. I love the art too. So
I do
I'm
like
really a big
that. That
fan.
was really cool.
Yeah, the art's really good. It also the actual post has voiceover as well, which I'm someone who narrates a lot of my work, so I love it when other authors do the same. So that is good stuff. Really good stuff. All right. So let me grab the link to the next one for the chat here before I read it. Dun, dun. It's got all those fun little UTM link things on the end. Sorry. I need to get like clean links. But okay. So the next poem that I've got here is from Hazel Allen, is entitled Cottonwood. Cottonwood, one word. When the moon beams high, poignant across the crimson red sky, I am moved by sun's slow descent, urged to find the cottonwood grove and remember your name. How does one pay respects to a face that holds little to remember? When you passed long before my coming of age, tempered by truth and sombred by the flame. But as the stars sparkle above, entrenched along the midnight horizon, I am moved by the sun's disappearance, its soul no longer carrying the weight of a mind burned by time. Only the wish to know your name and the lives your heart once touched, affected forever by your roots, poised to plant your legacy in a new field, readied for the cottonwood to breathe once more. to which your story will be reborn. Wow. Okay. Whew, that was good. There's definitely a lot of emotion in there. I really like Hazel's poetry for that reason. Like they always have really strong imagery, which I think was definitely an aspect of this one. And then also there's always like this you can feel like this emotional foundation with their work, like where it feels like it comes from a place of maybe personal experience or just maybe just again like really understanding the emotion that they're trying to convey with the poem. And so I got that here. I got exactly what I wanted from one of Hazel's poems. It's interesting how in the first stanza we again have a sunset, like twilight hours kind of reference here, and that wasn't planned, obviously. Um, but I like that. I feel like
I mean,
last time we had
last
something
time we
similar
had
too.
a whole bunch of weird references between poems,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah. There was like these weird, like little coincidences between each poems, like a through line that nobody was aware of prior to reading them. Um, but yeah, so diving a little deeper with this one, I feel like the emotion here is like obviously missing somebody. It's got like that longing, and like I said, there's like a depth to it. Like when you're reading this, you can feel kind of the heartache in the word choice. Um, you know, and there's just so many memorable lines. Like for example, how does one pay respects to a face that holds little to remember? Um, I just love that phrasing there. And then it says when you passed long before my coming of age. So it seems like someone that they've heard about, but maybe didn't know, or they maybe didn't interact with them were
I think it's
gone.
about me.
Like that's interesting. Yeah. Um, yeah. And then again, me and my endings, but I like the ending. I like the last stanza. I like the last stanza because I feel like poetry, obviously, you want to make a good first impression, as with anything that you publish. But I feel like with poems, and again, this might just be me.
Uh-oh. Bradley has
I'm
decided
always
to
expect.
you were freezing and cutting out, so I think you're good now.
Oh, okay. Is it good now? Okay.
Mhm.
I was just gonna say, I feel like poems should always kind of be leading somewhere, right? It should like leave you with like a takeaway, to kind of walk away with. And so I think that's why I like the ending so much. Anyway. Hmm.
But I like the use of the sun's slow descent,
Mhm.
and disappearance, like how the sun progresses like that, because it links the sunset, to the end of life,
Mhm. Yeah.
which is like, I think there's a poem say, "Weight of a mind burdened by time." I think that's in
It
that poem.
does say that at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, is
Yeah.
it frames like death is a this is super morbid. Isn't that like framing death as like a lighter, almost preferred state?
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate to say that because it's really morbid, but
I mean, yeah, but there is a connotation of death for sure with this poem, so I think that's a fair thing to say. I was also looking at the chat here. Kathy Derrickson says the twilight years, which I think that's a nice kind of metaphor here that it's pointing towards. You know.
sure. And then because you like endings, I like the final stanza. Is that
Hmm.
that move it from like because most of the poem seems like it's almost like mourning,
Hmm.
like mourning the passing of somebody or something. But the
Yeah.
final stanza seems to move it more towards like um uh an act of remembrance, like
Hmm.
more of a celebration or a stewardship of the from the where you go from like a passive observation to an active responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Um, eh, so I thought that was cool, and I wonder if you think the cottonwood breathing is referring to like ancestral healing.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yeah,
like
I could see that.
I hate to say like a Native American way because that's kind of like the mythology I associate with ancestral healing.
Hmm.
I don't know if any
Yeah.
of that makes sense or if I'm just rambling.
No, I think it does make sense, and I mean, it's also pretty directly referenced, I think, in the last stanza where it says, "Plant your legacy in a new field," and then at the end it says,
Mhm.
"Your story will be reborn." So I think you're spot on. I think it's like a cycle, kinda like rebirth sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
suppose.
Mhm.
Just ignore me, Bradley. I'm not having to be like
I'm
this
just
all
taking
night.
what you're putting down and walking a little bit further, that's it.
Yeah, you're reading the next line.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not doing anything special. Alright, cool, great, good stuff. Alright, well, we can keep moving right along if you wanna pull up your next one.
Oh gosh. Sure. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do not that one because that one has I'm gonna start restricting it. I won't read poems that aren't in dark mode because
That's fair.
I think that should be a rule.
Yeah, I much prefer dark mode, yeah.
It doesn't wash
But
out my skin. I with dark mode, I still look like I've seen the sun this decade,
Mhm,
and when light mode, I don't think I do.
mhm, mhm.
This one is by Sarah SMR, who is in the chat.
Nice. Good stuff.
Oh, okay, and it is titled "The Eyes of Depression."
Mhm,
I'm staring at eyes that are no longer yours. I see you now. You're dying inside. You like to consume my thoughts, bury me in cruelty, and make me think I'm wrong. Am I wrong if you hurt me and they call me insane? I'm draining in this ridiculous idea of pressure. Am I the only one applying it? Punch me, wake me, pinch me, shake me. Am I awake yet, or are you just strangling me? I'm staring at your face, and all I can see is wrong. I believe in you. Maybe that's the problem here. You're not living yourself. You're a criminal, a thief. You stole my happiness. You stole who I was. You stole the little one, the one who promised to stay above water. Most criminals pull the people above water several times before they pass. When will you pull me up? On the last second? The one before my eyes go dark and my breathing stops? And the one that gives me 7 seconds to realize what life meant to me? Is this your way of slowly taking everything good in me and turning it black? Maybe even blue? At least let it be my favorite color, my favorite something, because I'm still staring at eyes that are no longer yours, because those are mine, and I don't have to look in the mirror and see you. I am better than that. I can live without you. So I'll pull myself out of the water. And no matter how bad I want revenge, that's not who I am. So you can kick rocks, depression, or should I say, kick water and keep swimming until you can't. Why? Because even you need help. You need your own path. Find who you are. Don't use people to do so. Because at the end of the day, you were never mine. You were never anyone's. You are your own enemy at times, just like I'm my own.
mm,
I
wow,
got like
okay.
I got like two things. Okay. Um
Mhm,
that are completely unrelated and probably uh a little silly. The very first 6 lines or so, where it says, "You consume my thoughts, bury me in cruelty, make me think I'm wrong, call me insane." That
mhm,
reminds me of gaslighting,
mhm. Yeah,
which is strange. And
definitely.
then there was a moment later on where it says, is this your way of slowly taking everything good in me and turning it black?" For some reason, that reminded me of "Paint It Black," the song. But we which is not overall, I think this is about somebody who is reclaiming this feels like oh boy. W this does this feel like somebody is reclaiming themselves from being, verbally abused?
I could
It
see it being
feels like it
interpreted that way. Yeah.
yeah, the stolen from, the held under, the gaslit,
Yeah.
and outside of my weird, song reference, that's what it seems like. Uh, um, and I think there's a point, where it's framed as sorry, I got the poem on this side of me.
Mhm.
Um, where it feels like it's framed at the end as that this depression needs to be discarded. Like,
Mhm.
it's something that you throw away, it's not something that you it's, almost like it's not worth your time, just get rid of it. Does that
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
it like that kind of dismissiveness of it?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
okay, that's what I got.
Yeah, yeah. My my read on it is, and this again, like I think with any kind of poetry, it's more often than not, at least how I read poetry is I always try to relate it to like my own experiences, especially when it's something like this, like mental health kind of things that I have, been a big proponent of like mental health awareness. And obviously I've struggled with my own mental health, troubles in my life. And so what I like about this piece a lot is that it personifies depression as if it's like this actual presence or like an alternate version of you and you're like fighting for control, and I think the gaslighting was spot on too, because it's, let's assume for a second that depression is something that is like sentient, that lives inside your mind like a demon, if you will. And in this case it would use all kinds of stuff to manipulate you, like gaslighting and whatnot. And so that's really interesting, just, kind of like creating that personification of depression. Um, and then, yeah, like I also the one line here, about giving me 7 seconds to realize what life meant to me. That, of course, I understand that as a reference to, like, the idea that it's, like, when a person's dying, it's like you see your whole life, I think, like, in, like, 7 seconds is, like I mean, I'm not, like, quoting science here or anything, but basically, like, that's something I've heard before, and so that feels like a reference to that, which is also interesting. But again, we're gonna come back to the ending because we gotta. But, "You were never mine, you were never anyone's, you are your own enemy at times, just like I am my own." I like how that's a reference to the phrase that we are all our own worst enemy, and this idea that, like, even if depression isn't this physical thing that you can attack, because it's not, and that's, like, the struggle with mental health in general, is that it's not something you can see, you know? Um, I feel like this poem captures that frustration really well, and then also this reference that it's like, "You are your own enemy, just like I am my own." It's, again, a reference to, like, this is something that is a part of me. I wish it wasn't, but if I'm not careful, I'll end up attacking myself because we can all be our own worst enemy at times.
I
Um,
do
so
if Sarah is in the chat, and she was moments ago, I do want to know if the reference to the song "Paint It Black" was intentional. That
mhm,
song is
would
about
be good to know.
depression.
Yeah, would be interesting to find out.
If it was, that would
But yeah,
mean
that was
if it was, that would make me wonder if the poem here is about the loss of a loved one, the depression following the loss of a loved one. Because if I remember correctly, that's what that song was about. I might be
mhm.
going too deep on the rabbit hole, badly.
I could see it being that though. So yeah, it'll be interesting if Sarah's in the chat still to find out straight from the author. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and pull up the next one here. All right. Also, I just wanted to
Do
say
you
real
want to?
quick, I saw Hazel joined right after we read their poem. So sorry about that, but we
Oh,
did read
unfortunate.
Cottonwood. We really liked it.
We did. If you want to just
That'll
take
of
a minute,
course.
I have to get up for just a second.
Yeah, no worries.
I'll be back in like three, I don't know, less than a minute.
Sounds good. All right. Well, he's gone here. I'll catch up with the chat. So I just wanted to read this comment here from Crystal. It says, I've been having a little bit of a different take on mental health. Instead of calling it the invisible disease, I've been saying we do see it when the mask is off. We see it in poor sleep. We see it in our colleagues who just can't get motivated and we call them lazy. We see it in people's cry for help. And I just think we need to pay more attention because we do see it. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's a really good call out. And it's why I really like, and this is something I do with my own writing, not only poetry but also just my own writing in general, is like I like to explore themes of, mental health awareness and trauma and how it kind of follows people. And obviously I do a lot of horror writing, for example, so trauma makes sense to have in horror because it's a scary thing. Yeah, so I think just in general, you were spot on, Crystal. Pay more attention because it's not invisible in the sense that um, that it's not invisible in the sense that it's not real. It's invisible in the sense that somebody who has emotional scars, for example, they don't have scars on their body that you can see. I think is kind of at least how I see it. Right? It's one of those things where it's like beneath the surface, if you will. It's not necessarily invisible, but regardless, something that you should pay attention to. So that's a great call out. And welcome back, Stefan.
Oh, thank you. The more,
I was just reading Crystal's comment in the chat here. All right, cool. Sarah just commented as well. Let's take a look at what she said before I read the next one. So she says, "You guys are always spot on with it all. Thank you for taking the time to read it. Meant a lot to me, and I'm absolutely speechless. And no, I didn't think of the song when I wrote this. I wrote it from a lot of my own experience while actively going through it. I always write it all because I hope it helps someone. I can see how the song is something brought up, though. I don't like to call depression mine because depression isn't yours. It's not something you ask for, and so on." Okay, great. No, that's
okay,
amazing. Thank you
so
for the
so the
commentary.
song was just me going crazy in my mind. The song was me being weird. You can call me out, Sarah. That's okay. You can tell me I'm wrong.
I feel like sometimes I've had people ask me if certain things in my work are references to things, and I immediately see it. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I see how that makes sense. But that wasn't my intention when I wrote it, and I feel like there's definitely like a subconscious thing where writers will put stuff in there like that without realizing it, references to things and whatnot. Um, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
that
great.
makes sense.
I really like to what Sarah said here about how she doesn't like to call depression mine because depression isn't yours. It's not something you ask for. I definitely got that vibe from the poem here because, like I said, it personified depression. It
I
created
feel
like
like
this separate
there's
thing.
I
Good.
feel like there's a mythology where sadness and depression is when someone swallows their own shadow. But I could have just
Mm,
jumped that and got confused. But if that was the case, then depression would be yours. Just to be
true.
like, I can see. Um, how do I want to say this? I don't. I don't want to seem contrarian. Is the problem. Because I think. Never mind. I have nothing productive to say.
No, for sure. But I see what you're getting at. As with anything, there's a lot of different ways to interpret it, and everybody's experience is different too. I think is fair to
Yeah,
say.
I think.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, I think. I guess what I was trying to get at was depression might not. Depression isn't yours, but the battle is kind of deal.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Maybe
That's a
I
good way
don't
of
know.
putting it. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. Now I feel like I've dug myself a hole, and sometimes the best is just best if you just stop digging.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But thank you to Sarah again for that backstory there regarding the poem. That was really really good. Okay, so next up, I totally didn't even realize this, but I have a poem from Demita Call, who I mentioned earlier with the art stuff. So that's another funny coincidence. But um, this is a poem that was actually written for day 8 of my Halls of Pandemonium challenge back in May. I don't have those prompts in front of me, but Namita did put it in the post. Shout out to Namita. So
You want to put it
day
in the
eight's
chat?
prompt. Yeah, let me pop the link into the chat. Thank you. Crystal says she lost sound. You can still hear me though, right, Stefan? Is anybody else having
Yeah, I
sound
can
issues?
still hear you. She needs to refresh if she
I was
lost
gonna say
sound.
you might want to refresh the page. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't everybody that lost audio.
Yeah, Substack
Okay.
is, and that's all the chat lost audio because I'm not in the chat, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Um, so just for a little background here, before I jump into this one. So the prompt from day 8 of my challenge back in May, was basically write a story or poem that combines elements from at least three genres. So just something fun to think about as I'm reading this. But the idea here was to combine multiple genres into one piece. Um, Also, yes, I put the link in the chat. At the bottom of the post, you'll see some art there from Namita, some watercolor art that is just awesome. Like I said, I love it when there's original art with the poems. Okay, so this is a piece called I See You by Namita Call. Dear Sia, there were two crows perched on the parapet of my balcony today, drinking water from earthen pots. They visit daily and call at us if we forget or delay in cleaning their drinking pots and fill them afresh with water. Any food we keep for them goes right into the pots, dipped in water to make it soft, palatable, edible, viable. They open some of my tiny pots in search of worms or cool earth. I'd never know. But today the calling was different. Not the teasing, chaotic sound I'm used to, but deliberate, with cadence, a rarity for this pair of trouble. One kept hopping to the left and the other to the extreme right, then both kept meeting in the middle, and this dance continued for a while. I was out of patience today, after a bad fight with Ray, and cramps were turning my body concave. Destruction, deliberate, devious disruption, I do not appreciate, especially when not of my making and uninvited appears. Poor creatures, unaware of my skills, vicious mind, vengeful instincts, kept at it, thinking I wasn't aware of what they did. 'Tis the tragedy of intelligent minds. They underestimate, forget that other great minds hide their shine, content till badgered, untimely awaken sleeping demons, rising to protect what's mine. We woke up today with a strange note delivered to Ray. It simply said, "What fights, retreats, and returns with pleas? What bothers you when at night you can't sleep? We are all alive, but only some of us are living. Does the lover bear the brunt or the spouse who is cheating? Strange things are happening in our neighborhood of late. But don't worry, those crows will not be bothered with any plants on your balcony. Neighborly love sure seems to be rampant in our little corner of the world. Thought will write to you in the same spirit, lest you worry that no one watches over you." Okay. There's a little note here at the end too. It says the entry for the day prompt. It's verse, epistle, epigram, and psychological thriller, three genres that were blended here. Okay, cool. So those are the three genres. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, lots of break apart here. Like I said, the art is really good. I felt I felt some of the genre shifts. Without reading that note at the end, I don't know that I would have caught every single genre shift. Probably not without reading it again, if I'm being completely honest. But I definitely felt sort of. Let me see again that note at the end there. Yeah, the psychological thriller. I felt that. I felt that really strongly. I would say, like in the last like third of the poem, that really came through. You could feel like a shift in tone where it was leaning into that a bit. I would have almost called it like psychological horror, but I think thriller works too. But there was like a kind of an ominous tone that stuck its way in there.
I
So
actually
that was
thought it was like noir.
yeah, yeah, it was interesting. It was really interesting. Um, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, it was the psychological thriller, and then it was verse, epistle, and epigram. Stefan, are you familiar with either of those terms? I'm not sure I've heard verse, epistle, and then epigram. Those two are I assume those are like poetic styles, but I'm not crazy experienced in
Um,
poetry on a technical
so
level.
is a pistol like EPISTOL?
Le, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, yes, I believe the epistle part um isn't that is I believe that's the letter format.
Hmm. I
Because I
think so.
believe that
Yeah.
refers to a work written in the form of a document.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a
Okay.
narrative. So because what she labeled it? She labeled it epistle.
Verse, epistle, epigram, and psychological thriller.
Yeah, so that's what epistle was, and then what was the other one that you asked me about?
Epigram. I was wondering if you knew what that was. Sounds like, again, maybe a reference to like a certain style or structure.
And what's it used as?
It's just used on its own as like one of the three genres, or I guess like three types that are included. Here, I'll just see if I can Google it real quick.
Because is it epigram like a paradoxical statement as a paradox?
Yes, actually, yeah. I Googled it. It says an epigram is a brief, clever, and memorable statement or a short satirical poem characterized by brevity and wit, and they typically feature paradoxical phrasing or a sharp, unexpected twist at the end, is what the summary says there. Okay,
Well,
interesting. Well, the more you know.
I got 1% of that definition.
Hey, more than me. I was at zero. So, all right, cool. Yeah, yeah. So that's kind of the combination of things there. And again, I definitely felt like the shift in tone. Tainted Quill asked Prose okay. Uh, I hope so. Um, like I said, it got pretty dark there at the end. I would like to think that Namita would say the crows are okay, though.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
So I found are you done? Are you good?
yeah, yeah.
You
That's my
sounded like you
analysis.
were,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to I would have guessed there was a gothic some kind of gothic genre in there.
Mm,
Because I took the crows as, a fairly deeply gothic symbolism.
mm-hmm,
Because you often see birds, especially birds, the crows and ravens, used as omens in, gothic literature. And here they seem to function as a, reflection of the narrator's internal state.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And by projecting traits onto the birds, the narrator, I believe, is as you do when you project, is putting their own pent up aggression onto the birds,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then like when I believe the crows dance at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Um, I and like oh, do they? I feel like that has meaning like the external forces at play. And how and like is this violation of like a safe space
Mm-hmm.
or what is thought to be a safe space?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually thought the poem was deeply gothic, and I was completely wrong.
I see where you were pulling that from, though. Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely can see where that interpretation comes from. Yeah, that was interesting. I've read at this point several of Namita's poems because she typically submits them for like shout outs on my podcast and stuff each week. So this one was definitely unique though in the sense that like it was, you know, an interesting combination of formats and genres here. This was cool. I liked it. All right. Okay. All right, your turn, my friend.
Okay, I got one from Night Lure. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to go find it. I copied the wrong link.
Oh no.
No, no, indeed. Maybe I don't have one from Night Lure. Okay, I don't have one from Night Lure. I have a terrible. I have a Labyrinthia poem, and this is a. She labels this as, and I'll put the thing in the chat there. She labels this
Nice.
as a gothic ballad.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um, of or an original Appalachian murder ballad.
Oh, wow. All right. Color me intrigued. All right.
Let's hold up 1 second, get that over here. Okay. And I think by the looks of it, she has an audio for it too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
then as Labyrinthia always has, she has crazy, disgusting, and horrifying art.
That's quite the image. Yeah.
Okay. Um, it's gonna be a little weird, but we're gonna read a ballad. Come gather round and hear the tale of Sanguine Sally Fair. She wandered barefoot through the hills, with blood rot in her hair. Her locks were long and a crimson flame. Her skin was soft and pale. Her eyes shone bright cornflower blue, and her virtue was not for sale. And then one day the lad came round and saw sweet Sally praying. He smiled as though he found true love, though he'd never thought of staying. He promised her she'd be his wife, his love forevermore. He said his heart belonged to her, and then that boy she did adore. Oh love, oh sleep, my love, your heart is mine. It's beating soft and slow. I'll keep you close, I'll keep you safe, I'll never let you go. Oh sleep, my love, your heart is true. I'm yours and you are mine. You'll have my sweet fidelity until the end of time. Come gather round and hear the tale of Sanguine Sally Fair. She wandered barefoot through the hills with blood rot in her hair. He courted her on through the spring and promised her a life. 4 kids, a coonhound, and a house. She'd be his loyal wife. But while she stitched and hemmed with care the dress she'd marry in, he found a girl with raven hair and parents rich as sin. So he did jilt sweet Sally Fair. His heart was left in tatters. Her heart was left in tatters, and yet she was devoted still, for love ignored such matters. Oh, sleep, my love, your heart is mine. It's beating soft and slow. I'll keep you close, I'll keep you safe, I'll never let you go. Oh, sleep, my love, your heart is true. I'm yours and you are mine. You'll have my sweet fidelity until the end of time. Come gather round and hear the tale of Sanguine Sally Fair. She wandered barefoot through the hills with bloodroot in her hair. She called upon her love one night, afore he'd take his bride. She tempted him with kisses sweet. He followed her outside. Sweet Sally raised her carving knife and plunged it in his chest until his breath at last fell still and his face was at rest. She cut his heart out of his chest as it was hers alone, and she kept it close, she kept it safe. She bore it swiftly home. Oh, sweet my love, your heart is mine. It's beating soft and slow. I'll kill you close, I'll keep you safe. Oh, I'll keep you close, I'll keep you safe. I'll never let you go. Oh, sweet my love, your heart is true. I'm yours and you are mine. You'll have my sweet fidelity until the end of time. Come gather round and hear the tale of Sanguine Sally Fair. She wandered barefoot through the hills with bloodroot in her hair. Sweet Sally found a gilded cage in which to keep her love. She sat there in her wedded white, a pure and pristine dove. She got a coonhound and a house, and felt that was enough. She had his heart beside her still, which got her through when times were rough. They found her there in wedding lace, her coonhound at her feet, a gilded cage beside her bed. His faithful heart still beat. Oh, sleep, my love, Your heart is mine. It's beating soft and slow. I'll keep you close. I'll keep you safe. I'll never let you go. Oh, sleep, my love. Your heart is true. I'm yours and you are mine. You'll have my sweet fidelity until the end of time.
Hmm.
Uh, so, I find narrative poems. Bradley,
Mhm.
I think it would be really cool, and I'm gonna put you on the spot here, if you'd sing that for us as a ballad.
Oh, man. I don't even know what the melody would sound like. No. Normally, I'd be happy to, but other than the rhythm, I have no idea what notes to apply to it. I am curious, though, what the audio sounds like since it looks like there was something created there. Um, but yeah, I mean, the rhythm of it as a ballad was really, really good. Um, I I feel like it, as with any ballad, but I feel like it captured that rhythm really well. And then I'm curious, like I'm not sure how familiar you are with like Appalachian lore and stuff like that, but it definitely felt like that kind of folklore cautionary tale type of tone to it. Like I like that like dark sort of legend behind it, the way that it felt.
Um, yeah, I think so. I like the Bloodroot.
Mhm.
I thought the Bloodroot was kinda cool. Um, and I like the phrase "gilded cage."
Mhm.
Um, I think that's I picture her keeping his heart in the cage, but I don't think it actually mentions that. Um, I like isn't the rhyme structure is rhyme, unrhyme, rhyme, unrhyme, like every other line rhymes, but not
Yeah.
every line rhymes.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm saying it.
Yeah, yeah. Second and fourth line of each stanza rhymes.
I like how literal the chorus is.
Mhm.
By the end, the "I'll keep you close, I'll keep you safe" is a very literal way to describe what's happening. Which I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
found amusing.
Yeah, and if it yeah, it also mentions that the heart was still beating. I thought was really, really, haunting, like, that little detail. That was very creepy to think about.
Yeah, that was fairly creepy.
Yeah.
It says, but if I would do something like, how would it go? Come gather round and hear the tale. If I was gonna put it to music, just because
Mhm,
you had mentioned that. What is it? You don't
mhm.
know what you, but that's just what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good, though, it was really good. I don't think I've ever written a ballad. I assume you've probably written some, yeah?
Yeah, I like writing ballads is fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever written
If you've
one.
never wrote a ballad and sang it, it's
I don't
a great
think so,
time.
no. Yeah, and
It's
something I
one of
need to
my
do.
favorite things to do on Substack now.
Yeah.
Oh, the audio is a song? Okay.
Mhm.
I always
We
liked,
should have a link in there, yeah, for people.
oh, I didn't put a link in? I can do a link. I always
No,
like when you do
we
when
do. You
people
put it
oh,
in.
okay. I always like when people put sing-songy, almost nursery rhyme, structure and rhythm into horror,
Mhm. Yep,
because it creates a cognitive dissonance. Because if
yep.
I'm reading something in that structure with that, rhyme scheme, I'm expecting, like, Dr. Seuss, Little Rubber Ducky, not,
Mhm.
"I'm gonna cut out your heart because you love somebody else."
Mhm, mhm.
Are you deep in thought, or disappointed in my analysis of this
Yeah.
poem.
It's good. No, I liked it. This was really good. This was really good. I'll have to go back and listen to the audio at some point. All right.
Labyrinthia, did you sing the audio? Is that your voice on the audio? I didn't listen to it. But
I haven't listened
I
to
would
it
be
yet.
very curious to know if you were the one who sang that audio.
Wow, this
I like to
episode.
put things in as nice as possible. Tainted Quill.
All right. Yeah. While we're waiting on there we go. Okay, so Labyrinth says no, I didn't. It's done with an Appalachian voice. Very nice. Okay, cool. All right. Good stuff. Okay. So next one that I've got here. This one, funny enough, I didn't plan this by the way, but this one is also from my May writing challenge. This was for day 17's prompt, which asked for a story or poem about trauma manifesting physically on a character's body. So again, kind of calling back to what I was saying earlier about like mental health and type of stuff. This was like, okay, what if you do like a body horror story where something like trauma actually shows up on your body in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, that was day 17's prompt from my Halls of Pandemonium challenge. This particular poem is by Coral Evermore, and it's called Floral Revenant. Let me go ahead and toss the link in the chat for everybody. But yeah, Coral does really good work, so I'm excited to read this one. All right, so this is Floral Revenant by Coral Evermore. There is some audio here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Coral typically includes some music for you to listen to while you're reading. It's kind of like a atmosphere kind of thing. So I don't think it's narration per se. It's more just like something to listen to while you're reading. But let me go and start this one here. Again, this is Floral Revenant is the title. A sharp edge against the inside of my throat, a knife begging to open me whole, to shred me apart from the inside, to covet my skin as their own. The bitterness of blood seeps into every corner of my mouth, rolling over the tip of my tongue. It stains my white teeth, dark with crimson and so wet, a growling appetite whetted by its own threat. Another cut, another gash, another, and yet another still, forever still, until it is nothing but ash. A violent need to purge emerges. I must retch my own wretchedness, subdue what is brewing deep inside my veins, my viscera, but my voice, it cannot speak. It is nothing but a whine, a pathetic rasp, a sad grasp to heal what has already turned to gore. Thorny vines undulate from within, crawling to curl around my lips, cutting daggers into the supple, the soft, the pink, and the delicate. My flesh is now plagued with slashes. I cannot breathe. Petals spew forth, causing me to choke on its soft, velvety touch. Vomiting velvet flowers, I stare down at all that has been lost. A withered mess with nothing left. Bruised purple, flesh pink, pearl white, blood red. All I see is the blood red, until I am sure I must be dead. And yet this corpse refuses to die. It marches on like a floral revenant that has grown to be quite comfortable among the dread, so that even when the decayed flowers bloom from between my thighs, the slices it leaves behind no longer elicit my cries. Why bother, with all for naught, when it feels doomed to be fraught? My arm hovers like a lifeless thing being pulled by a string, and I watch outside myself as vines worm and crawl underneath my skin. I don't bother ripping my flesh open to tear them out, though I know that they are coiling my very innards as we speak, embracing me with their disgusting heat. I don't bother because I no longer belong to myself. At long last, that sad little desire to resist subsides. Rotting earth wraps its arms around my waist, pulling me back down to the ground. Looking up at the indigo sky, stars twinkle above to mock me with their distance. To be among them, to be floating, to be free, to bask in their radiant existence, is but a far-off dream not meant for me. Vermin make my body their own. Maggots make a home out of the small crevice of my ears. Flies buzz around my head, forming a chorus of laughter. Only a single tear manages to break free, to float towards that never ending sky. And as I lie, and I lie, and I lie, that drop of dew upon my rosy cheeks shall act as my final form of speech. For hereafter, my only worth belongs to the earth. Wow. Wowzers. Okay. So yeah, that one um that seemed to be it was kind of going in and out of poetry kind of structure and style. Like there was definitely some rhyme scheme in there. As well as, like it all felt like these interludes of prose, where like the formatting was a bit more like paragraphs. But I mean, all of it flowed beautifully. That was some pretty intense imagery too, which again, this prompt was meant to be kind of body horror. So I think it absolutely captured that. With some of those really intense lines about the vines and the thorns and stuff like that. Um, the term floral revenant, the way it fits into the piece here was really well done, and just in general, that's a like the way it's framed and described here is incredible. I really like that. Um, but yeah, oh man, like the color, the imagery, the word choice. I mean, that was intense. That was very intense. I liked it though. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, I would have the
It was
same
pretty
reaction
wild.
as you had for the most part. I like the Flora Revenant line. I like the Velvet Flowers.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I like there's a I like the like corruption of beauty
Hmm.
part, and then I thought there was like a interesting that it was towards the end where there's a single tear, right?
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting. Uh, to me, that almost felt like a form of defiance against like the inevitable rot and decay that was happening.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like the it's really the only thing I can think of about the character there that is living or has a soul yet.
Hmm. Yeah.
I thought that imagery was cool.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, Coral as an author has really distinct writing style. Like it's elegant and it's beautifully written, but man, is it like in this case, like I said, the body horror is just really like vivid and intense in a good way. Like really well done.
Uh, the
Man.
Tainted Quill said the Tainted Quill said, "I liked how there was a lot of decay and death, but on the other
Mm,
hand, it was also sort of mirrored with the idea of life and things growing from that." Bye, Kathy.
thanks for coming, Kathy. Yeah, I agree with Tainted Quill. There's a really interesting contrast there between like some of the more, like I said, kind of body horror imagery, and then the stuff that's kind of like new life. It I love that. I love poetry. There's another author that I interviewed on my podcast a while back that did like dark poetry, like this. That it was very focused on like themes of like death and decay, but it saw those things through a lens of like how it's just part of a cycle of life and death, and how there's new life that comes out of it. And so I like that a lot. It's really good. That was a great one. Good stuff. Okay.
I have one by the Hawaiian cat herder named Elias Shepherd Morrow, uh, called. And I hate to think I'm gonna have to try to read his writing on here, but we're gonna give it a go. I don't know if you've ever engaged with this author, but
I believe I have. Yeah.
he likes to not spell words correctly on purpose, and
Oh
it's
wow.
so stupid random that is with apostrophes.
That's funny.
And I'll put this link in the chat. There are some good ones here, Tainted Quill. If you haven't seen all these, God, I hope that's the right thing. I'm not linking him to something random. And this is called Where the Bee Knelt, and it has a beautiful picture of a flower with a bee on it. Uh, I put the
Stuff.
link in the chat for people.
Thank you. Yep. I'm gonna pull it up as well.
The field was loud with easy sweetness. Lavender opened her lavish purple gowns. Clover laid out her open tables. Sunflowers lifted their gold bowels, wide to every wing. But he passed them by as ordinary. Gardenia kept her offering hidden beneath her ivory snowfolds. No landing, no invitation, just fragrance, traveling farther than her petals dared. So he chose her, or she chose him. He entered slow, velvet-footed, past petal, fragrant, humid, hollow, soft filament, golden anther,
Anther,
quiet
yeah.
stigma, each tender part revealed beneath a breath of pollen. He could have gathered plenty without labor, but plenty weren't what called him. He came from the bloom, then asked him to be gentle.
Interesting.
Um, I don't know if you opened that and tried to and looked at looked at the
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I like what the tainted quill said, the bee's knees. That's good.
yeah, the bee's knees was cute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
I
On
I
this
I
one?
can jump in here real quick. I mean, as always with the poetry we read, it's really cool how like much variety there is. Like I would not have been able to guess that we
Uh
would get a poem like this tonight. You know what I mean?
oh.
But I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's interesting because I see what you said about how like the word choice and kind of the I guess the right term would be like the dialect of it, where like words are kind of like shortened or like you said, there's like apostrophes in there. Like it's just like
Yeah, he takes liberty with
it
the way he takes liberty with his spelling.
yeah, yeah, it's but it's good. It's interesting. It helps the poem feel distinct. And then just this whole idea that it's almost like an intimate story of like the relationship between bees and like flowers and like pollination and stuff like that. I Very interesting. I've never actually seen anything quite like it. There was like a softness to the poem that I really liked. Like it felt very gentle. Um, yeah, yeah, I mean, it was again, I wasn't expecting this, but I'm happy that it exists. I like it. It's cool. Um, but yeah, no, it's like you never know what you're gonna get with these, and I love that. You know.
Yeah, I thought, and full disclosure, I had read this once before.
Hmm,
And then so I had this is not my first time reading it, so I have an advantage on poor old Bradley here.
fair.
Um, I think this is like the message here is like gentleness is hi Brian Patrick, like gentleness is like a currency all its own.
Hmm.
Like being yeah, being gentle is like this. I don't want to say it like it's a virtue. But that's kind of how it feels. That's where the poem's central message is to be gentle in how you approach things. The thing separate from the outcome. It like reminds me of like a Rugrats would have been on TV, and he'd have been lecturing to me about how it's not just about how much money you make. It's about what you make, what you like. whether or not you put forth the effort. Like, you can put forth the effort and, make it, like, skate by on your effort, or you can put in real effort, and even if you don't get recognition for it, it's worth something. I don't know, that's kind of the
Mm.
message I got from it.
Got it, got it, got it. Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would have been able to reach a similar conclusion if I had if I had more time between reading it and
You know
talking about it, but that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad that I was given a poem I had read before, but I felt I should read it.
No, no, it was good. It was good. I'm glad we did. Yeah. No, I liked it a lot. Okay.
I sense, a subtle disappointment in your voice, Bradley.
No,
Is it
no,
all the
I was trying
right
to follow
tonight? So
along.
I sense subtle disappointment.
No, no. I was along with what you're saying, and my connection was cutting in now, so I was trying to catch up when you came back. It was
Oh,
just
okay.
one of those technical difficulties. No disappointment. If anything, I'm disappointed in the internet.
What do you think of the I'm gonna put you on the spot here. What do you think of the description of flowers as being easy sweetness or open tables?
The open tables thing makes sense because a flower, when it blooms, like the petals and stuff like that,
I
there's
thought that was an
nothing.
interesting way to describe a flower.
Yeah, I think it is interesting because it's like the flowers themselves are they're very literally open and vulnerable. Like, unless it's like a certain species of flower that's like, like a carnivorous flower or something like that. It doesn't have any defense mechanisms, so it really is kind of like open and vulnerable. So I thought that was interesting.
In the bee Yeah, this and it will be great.
Sorry, if you can hear me, I'm still having connection issues. Trying to figure it out here.
Oh, Bradley's coming. If he comes, we'll give Bradley a minute.
I think it might be back. I don't know if it's working or not.
I don't actually know what to do. I would read another poem, but I don't have another poem. No, I'm here struggling. Is it possibly me? Yeah. You didn't, Tainted Clay, you didn't think the poem that we read was about flowers? Did you have a different theory of as to what it was about? I would love to hear a different theory if you had a different theory.
Am I back at all, Stefan? Can you hear or see me? Any luck? I see myself.
That's okay, Brian. If the if it's not like super long and you want to put one in the chat, uh, I'll read whatever you send me just while we wait for Bradley. You see yourself in them, yeah? Well, that's fair. Good grief. I don't,
Yeah, I was gonna say, am I back?
you're back in the stream. Are you suggesting I refresh, Bradley? Can you
Yeah,
hear
if you can
me?
hear me,
Okay,
Stefan, try refreshing on your side.
you see,
Let's see if that works. Sorry for the technical difficulties. They always show up at the worst time. Yeah, everything's looking correct on my end here. Let's see. Send another one of these. All
We're
right, how about
back,
now?
Brad.
Are we back? You're back.
Ah, yeah, I have so many Stefan join the live things on the side. I can't see the chat.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think Substack had a conniption.
I believe it did. Yeah, that was
Oh,
definitely
you
unique
got
as
me?
far as
Yeah,
glitches
because
go.
yeah. Um, we are at an hour and a half. Do we wanna do one more? Do we wanna
Yeah, yeah. If the connection will hold up, let's go ahead and do
Mr.
one
Bradley?
more, and then we can wrap up with ours if it'll hold.
Okay.
Uh, Still a little choppy on the end. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Mm, all right.
Uh, for the future that bypasses Substack on our end, so at least we'd be able to hear each other. It wouldn't fix the choppiness for the chat, but it would fix the choppiness between us 2, if that's something we're interested in next time, Bradley.
I heard the second half of that. I didn't hear the first part, but we can talk about it separately.
Oh, I have yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, sorry. It's still cutting in and out. Not your fault. All right. Okay, well, assuming my audio is still coming through, okay.
You
I
sound buttery smooth.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. Um, all right, sweet. So, what I have next up here is a poem from T. Etheredge. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first in a new series of I want to say he said it was horror and romance was the combo. But in any case, let's go ahead and dive in and see what we got here. So the title of the poem is Necromance, but it's the formatting is makes it look like neck romance. So it's kind of a play on words. Um, Here I'm going to put
Did you
it
put
in
it in the
the
chat?
yeah, I
Oh,
just put it in there. Yep. Cool. All right. So this is called Necromance, a poem of romantic horror by David T. Etheredge. And this is part the first, Coupling of the Dark. Necromancers too they were, enshrouded by a pallid pall, entombed in cryptic ossuary, incanting rituals nocturnal. The first was famed for murders 3, a babe, a bride, a palsied crone. Their blood he fed tenebrous trees and strung viscera for the crows. Abracadaver he was known, his true name lost in madness past. Malfic now his mind had grown, maimed malignant in his flesh. The second's deeds were done by dark, unseen by prying eyes she prayed. 1,000 lovers she seduced, 1,000 husks her passions flayed. Hocus corpus left their lips, as life she sucked from smitten souls, enraptured by her flawless form, ensorcelled by her ghostly gaze. In sepulchre they met one eve, while harvesting the grisly dead. He had no life on which to, she had no carcass to corrupt. Eldritch appetites they shared, ghoulish needs and ghastly might, partners in grotesquerie, had found their soulmate on this night. Their tale is rife with gore and grime, compelled am I to full confess. If you endure till end of rhyme, your heart shall suffer in your breast. And it promises part 2 is coming soon. That was crazy. That was really, really cool word choice there, and definitely a challenge for me to pronounce some of those words. Those are words I haven't said in a very long time in a lot of cases. But no, that was cool. That was cool. I really liked again the word choice was really good. There was some really kind of standout lines there. Not only because the words themselves were complex, but just the combination of complex wording alongside like the imagery, it paired really nicely. It had a very elegant kind of feel to it. It felt like elevated horror in that regard. Um, yeah, some really cool stuff here. And it's interesting. The horror is definitely the stronger of the two elements, but the romance came through as well. Obviously, um, it almost had. I don't want to say like Tim Burton because it wasn't like quite as it wasn't the same tone as Tim Burton, but it was like that combination of like horror with like a little bit of playfulness that I liked. It was cool. It was neat. And again, crazy word choice. That was really good. That was my favorite part. There were some wild, very not often used words in there. In Scorsold, I haven't heard, for example, or in Sorsold, I haven't heard that one in a long time.
I don't think I've ever heard that one. I like the alliteration, the use of
Mm-hmm.
alliteration. You don't see that very often, and I think it's really cool in poetry to use alliteration.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a dark irony here.
I feel that too. Yeah.
Where they say, I think they said, he had no life on which to feed, she had no carcass to corrupt.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep.
Um, I think that's where it becomes. I think that's the romance part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
the core of the romance?
Yep.
Um, so I think they because it's like you have two predators. I believe both the he and she in here are vampires, and then so you have like these two predators, and they each in their own unique way have they can no longer satisfy their hunger.
Mm-hmm.
Like they ran out
Yep.
of ability to satisfy the hunger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now they have found like this common ground with each other where they truly understand each other's appetites essentially. I thought that was actually I thought the romance part was amusing because it's like,
It
oh,
is. It is.
I
Yeah.
understand you because we're both hungry. We can't eat essentially.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, and I really like in the second to last stanza, it's described as eldritch appetites they shared. I just like
Hmm.
that line a lot. To what you were saying about their mutual hunger. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought it was cool. Some of the
Yeah.
words like malefic and viscera and
Mm,
tenebrous,
yeah, yeah.
well, are just cool words. Y
Yeah,
Especially the
and
malefic.
honestly, yeah, the alliteration, like you said, really, really good. Like tenebrous trees, no carcass to corrupt, ghostly
Pallid
gaze,
pal.
flawless form, smitten. So a lot of alliteration. Yeah, but it was
Mhm.
good. Yeah, I'd like to see more alliteration in poetry. That works really well.
I do too. I just like to see more alliteration. I'm just an alliteration guy.
Yeah, it very much rolls off the tongue. I like it. Cool, good stuff. All right, well, do you have another one that you want to read before we switch to ours?
I don't have another one.
Okay.
I am out
Well, if you want, then we can
of
transition into
items.
ours.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna.
Do you wanna send me yours via DM? Or do you guys wanna put it in the chat and I'll copy it from there? That way they have it too?
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop in the chat here. I just put it in. If you want to just grab it that way, it might be the simplest route.
Oh, I'm nervous what kind of tongue twister you gave me this time.
Hmm. I don't think it's too bad. I wasn't trying
Th
to throw a tongue twister your way.
this next one I'm gonna read is from this Bradley guy who, we don't wanna talk about him.
We reluctantly include his stuff in these.
Yeah. He only get he always submits his piece the last second, and it's always of questionable quality.
It is. It really is.
Okay, uh, okay, cool. This one is titled "Inferno's Reach: The Call to Burn," and it was a stream of consciousness poem for day 4 of something that I'm unfamiliar with that I probably should be familiar with. You know, people all the time tell me that you have prompts, and I
Yeah.
never. I get told all the time, "Oh, you should do Bradley Ramsey's prompts," and I always forget. I assume
I
that
can send them to you if that would if you would like the
if
reminder.
you if you do, I'll be more likely to pick one up.
For
Is the
sure. Okay.
Madness and Mayhem? Do you want to give us context on that?
Sure, yeah. So, last year when I joined Substack, I did a writing challenge in May, and it was a play on words. It was madness and mayhem. This year, I ended up changing the name of the challenge to the Halls of Pandemonium. So that's where that new name came from. But basically, the concept with that May challenge, and it's something I'm going to do every May each year that I'm on Substack. But the idea is that in May, I want to do a challenge where the theme is just complete unpredictable prompts that jump between genres and types of writing. So you just never know what's going to come next. It's like chaos is the idea. So that's what that's from.
Okay. So this is in jump between genres, you telling me?
Hmm. Yeah. So this particular one was, um, yeah, it was for last year's challenge. I asked people to basically come up with three different beginnings of a story or poem, and then pick one of them to actually write. So it was like an exercise in brainstorming, followed by writing the actual thing.
Okay, cool. And the title is, I forgot already, Inferno's Reach, the Call to Burn.
Hmm.
No. A candle's flame danced, but not for joy. It reached desperately with every flicker, as if it were trying to escape. Its world has gone dark, now covered in ash. The ground is melting. It sinks ever deeper, still reaching for the stars. I have witnessed the life and subsequent death of so many flames. This one is different. Perhaps it has a name. Could it be that it once was a part of something bigger, burning on a celestial sphere? Did it taste stardust before joining me here? Are flames like this born, not from sparks and steel, wretched from eternity and forced to serve at the behest of man? Perhaps Prometheus knows whether flames possess life. Father of all fire, I ask, is it more than heat and light, called forth by a spark and strike? Are all flames your children, seeking a place to burn, longing to escape to a place unbothered by the whims of conquest and war? The candle did not ask for its wick to be lit. It was not eager to perish. The flame did not have a say in whether it exists, and yet it is here upon a battlefield of wax. They devour one another, their only legacy a smell that dissipates like dew. Tell me something, if you please. How far does Inferno reach? Do your fingertips grasp at strands of Titan's hair, scorching the face of Iapetus? I don't know
Hmm.
that name. Or when the fire goes out, is the smoke of your soul traveling back to the cosmos, rejoining the Father of Embers until called to burn once more? The chat has no help for me. Okay. Well, I'm not going to ask you to do your own poem, a reflection on your own poem, not first, anyways, because that would spoil the fun.
Yeah.
Uh, oh boy.
Keep in mind, it was a stream of consciousness. I will share my thoughts after you share yours. Like you said, I want to hear your thoughts, but I'll explain a bit more.
Okay, so um, it's to me, it is um like a prisoner of circumstance poem, like a poem about a
Hmm.
prisoner of circumstance,
Yeah.
and that the flame is uh like a captive soul in need of liberation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and I think there is some symbolism there that may have been intentional, and that was when you out they devour one another. You shift the symbol from a like a candle to a wider human experience where
Mm-hmm.
um
Yeah. Similar to how flames spread. Yeah.
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 And I think you personify the flame quite a bit.
I did. Yep. 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 Yep.
um, which I think is why I took the flame as the manifestation of the representation of the celestial soul.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
Like, in the Christian, but teaching, it would be like the Holy Spirit manifestation.
Sure. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
And then was the smoke supposed to be like a symbolism for liberation of that soul?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think you identified a lot of the themes in there. What I was gonna add to that just for kind of fun, context here is I remember I was in like a writing group the night that I wrote this. I was in like a writing group on Discord, and we were all doing a writing sprint, and we were in between writing sprints, and I remember one of the people on the call was Wild K Nebula, whose work is here on Substack as well. But I was talking to her and I was like, "Man, I'm trying to do this stream of consciousness thing, and like I don't know what to do. Like I'm not getting any ideas. I had like writer's block." And so she said, she's like, "Find something around you and write about that." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like I thought that was interesting as like a prompt idea. So right as she said that, I looked over and saw that I had a candle burning over on the other side of the room. And I was just staring at that candle, and that's when I got the idea for this poem, and I just kinda started writing. And it's like you said, I was, like, thinking about, you know, the flame is like a metaphor for, like, the soul, and then obviously, like, just kind of this weird stream of consciousness, like, exploring, you know, does fire, feel things, or does it remember where it burned before, like a soul, does it have like multiple lifetimes? Is it a part of something greater? Like just very like philosophical kind of just again stream of consciousness. But it was really cool that that whole idea came from the fact that she just said, "Hey, pick something in the room and write about that." And like I said, the candle jumped out at me. So just a little bit of context there. But yeah, thanks. That was a good read.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I liked it. That was good. All right. So, do you have a link for me?
I do. I'm gonna spare you a Smeagol voice. I'm gonna spare you a
I owe you
Smeagol
one.
voice.
I owe you one at some point, though. I will do it. I will do it. All right. Let me grab this. Yeah, before we started, for the benefit of everybody watching here, I was telling Stefan, anybody who listens to my weekly writing podcast, Saved as Draft, knows that I always do like the comedy cold opens every week in that podcast, and so at this point, I have a whole cast of characters, all based on different voices that I do. So we were talking, Stefan and I were talking before the stream about me reading one of his poems at some point in my Gollum slash Schmeagol voice. But in any case, that's for later. We've got something different here. um, all right. So this piece from Stefan is called Isolation. It is a Gothic autism ballad. Interesting. Okay. The first in a series of Gothic ballads related to being autistic. And there's audio here. It says you sang it with piano accompaniment. Very interesting. Gotta check that out. All right. Here we go. The world demands a mask of light to hide the storm within. I build a house of stone and night beneath this aching skin. Oh, let the world spin, cold and blind. I drift within this quiet mind. They mock the mask, they fear the light, and I remain the shadow in the night. The shadows blur, the faces near, the gaze is sharp as glass. They call me creepy if I peer, and rude if I let pass. Oh, let the world spin, cold and blind. I drift within this quiet mind. They mock the mask, they fear the light, and I remain the shadow in the night. The sunlight is a blade of lead, the noise a heavy sea. They laugh to see the heart misled, a cage and I the plea. The walls begin to heave and groan, the pressure starts to climb, a frantic beat within the bone, a rhythm lost to time. The fragile boundaries snap and break, the hidden storm begins to wake. Oh, do not judge the silent mind, the storm you cannot see. I seek the peace I cannot find, locked in this house of me. Damn, that's good. I like that. That was awesome. That was really good.
That's good. I'm happy that didn't disappoint.
No, it definitely didn't. Again, I love the. I feel like ballads. Obviously, they're meant to be like with music and like singing, of course. But just reading a ballad out loud, I love like I find the rhythm of it very satisfying. Like it's very easy to read and follow along, and it falls into its own rhythm that is just very satisfying to read out loud. I like it a lot, just in general.
Yeah, I
But
found that with Vavi's ballad too.
yeah,
That's fun to read
exactly.
out loud.
Yeah, no, but it was good. It was good. I really appreciate how a lot of poems, and this one, of course, as well, really did a great job tonight of calling out different like kind of aspects of mental health and just kind of like mental like themes in general. I just feel like the poems tonight, several of them fell into that category, and I feel like they all did a really great job. Yours included. Um, yeah, I've always really liked too. This is something I've in my work as well. I like the idea of a mind being compared to like an ocean, like or like an ocean in a storm or a sea. I don't know. I've always thought that that metaphor really works well. I feel like it describes a lot of like kind of mental turmoil in a way that makes a lot of sense visually. And so yeah, this was really good. I liked it a lot. Every time we read your stuff, I really enjoy it, which is why I like doing our stuff at the end here. I also I gotta do it. I gotta do it before we wrap up. I love the ending. The ending is great. I seek the peace I cannot find, locked in this house of me. Just that, God, it's a good ending. It's like house of me. It's perfect. It's really good. It describes how like we as humans are kind of whether we want to be or not trapped within our own minds. And I love that you called that out at the end there. That was good.
Uh, yeah, I think you. I don't think it's a super deep thing. You know what I mean? Uh, it
Yeah,
was
but
pretty.
it doesn't
Well,
have to be
right on the
deep.
sleeve.
Yeah.
But yeah, the house of me. I like that line.
Yeah. No, I really like that line. It's really
Um,
good.
and Brian, I don't know what you mean by share. If you want to share your thoughts, you're welcome to do that. Uh, I think we're wrapping up. So if you want to share a poem, if you want to send me a poem, I'll make sure to include it next time. I believe we're wrapping up.
Yeah, this is usually at the end of our streams here. We usually go about an hour and a half and then we read some of our own stuff at the end here. But yeah. Um yeah, Hazel brings up a good point. Writer intent versus reader interpretation. Yeah.
I think people can interpret things a lot of ways. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the literal mean of like house of me line is gonna differ from person to person. Like Bradley articulated a interpretation of that, which to me is interesting. I don't know that it's the interpretation that everyone would interpret.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. That's the beauty of poetry though. I love it when there's room to interpret it in different ways.
Yeah, because you could interpret it as being locked behind a mask socially,
Mm-hmm.
if because you're masking all the time. So
Yeah.
that's why you could interpret it that way if you were. I won't comment on when it was supposed to be.
I'm gonna leave it mysterious. Yeah, but I
No,
mean, yeah,
yeah,
I feel like the final stanza in general is just a really nice summary of the themes that we read about up until that point. Like, don't judge the silent mind, the storm you cannot see. Like, I love that. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a very concise way of describing a lot of what has been said up until that point. So it's a good conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, I like the way it ends.
I like I really like the rhythm of those two lines together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it goes um what is it? It goes unstressed, 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 stressed and stuff. So I just like how it flows off my tongue when I say it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, yeah, we are at time here. As always, I still had a few left, including some poems from last month. So I'll find a way to work those poems in, next time around. Obviously, we want to take more submissions, but want to try to find a way to, kind of, make sure that everybody gets featured who submits. It's just a matter of time is the issue.
I don't think we're ever gonna if we ever keep like run out, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we're ever going to though. Yeah,
No, so I don't think we ever
I
get to
still have a
everybody.
backlog. Yeah, I still have a backlog here.
Oh, you might
I
have
think
to, like, I don't know how you do it. You're just doing it by who submits first gets read first. So
yeah,
you
I
do it
was
in
going
order
in
of
the order
submission.
that it was received. Yeah, is how I was doing it. Yeah, and
If
then
we
if I
start
get
getting
to
too many, we might have to start doing it by, like, read time or something,
yeah, or just maybe a random selection or something. We'll figure it out as
or
we go.
random selection, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Bradley, for, joining
yeah,
me for a lovely time.
yeah. No,
Uh,
it was always Stefan. Thank you again for suggesting this. I love doing these with you. And yeah, we'll shoot for around this time next month. Still do these
Sounds
every
great,
month.
and 2 weeks from today, I believe Bradley's gonna come sing with me.
I'm gonna try. Yes, I was telling
Eh,
Stefan I've got family visiting, but I'm gonna check the calendar. Regardless, I will do that at some point with you. I promise.
I'm gonna, um, peer pressure him peer pressure him into singing, Britney Spears with me.
Beautiful. I love it.
Okay, is there anything else, Bradley? Anything else in your mind? Anything else you wanna
No, I think I'm good for now.
any
Yeah, no,
any
it
any
was
other any other wisdom you wanna share with us?
wisdom to share. No, I mean, like I said, I'm definitely gonna keep all these links, and we'll figure out, next month, try to, see if I can work. I think what I might do next month is start with a couple of the ones left over from the past couple, like move those up to the top and then get into new submissions. Might try that, but regardless, this is
You
always super fun. So,
Yeah, we could always it feels so bad if we always start with the prior week's overflow,
mm-hmm.
and then the people who submitted that week just get they're
I
gonna be
think
the
it's
ones in
more
the
of like
chat.
I was thinking like alternate. So like start with like one from last time, but then the next one is a brand new one and kind of go back and forth like that. Maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it.
Oh, Hazel has an idea.
Yep.
I don't know, I'm not privy to Hazel's idea.
We'll give it a second. I'm curious what Hazel suggests. But
The longer it takes, the more the anticipation builds.
right. Use a spin the wheel thingy because it would create a visual interactive element. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Oh, you do have a share the screen thing button on below. If you had a
Hmm.
spin the wheel thing on your thing, you could I think isn't there a website where you can make one?
I think so. Yeah. I've seen people use like custom ones before. Yeah.
Seems like a lot of work to have to put all the poems on a spin the wheel thing.
Yeah. The other idea is that we number all the poems and then put the numbers on a wheel and then,
Oh, there
like
you
have
go.
like
That would
a
be
yeah. Yeah,
we'd
yeah,
have to
yeah.
do and we might wanna do this anyways, where we do a shared spreadsheet via Google Drive,
Yeah,
and
we
maybe
probably should. Yeah.
we just have a collective list.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's a good idea. You and I'll have to plan it out between now and the next one, but yeah, so for everybody that tuned in here, I will try to get the recording up tomorrow. If not tomorrow, definitely within the next couple of days. And we'll of course have links to everything that we read tonight included in that recording post as well.
Do
And
you
then
have
yeah, stay tuned. Yeah.
do you have my links
I was
from
grabbing
when I
them
was
out of the chat as you were
on the chat?
pasting
Okay.
them, so I think I have most of them. I'll let you know if I'm missing any.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, last time I just kinda ghosted you and giving them to you, and I felt kinda bad.
I ended up using the transcript to find the names of the poems. Then I googled those and was able to track them
Oh.
down that way. Did
Oh,
some
good.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
felt kinda bad because, like, 4 days later, you posted it, and I realized I never gave you the poem links.
No, it's all good. I know how crazy things are. So all right. Well, yeah, another successful poetry reading. Thank you again. And everybody stay tuned. Beginning of August, first 2 weeks of August, somewhere in there, we'll start opening up for submissions again for August's live reading. But another fantastic selection tonight. This was
Do
great.
we do we want to do a theme?
Hmm. We could. Yeah. I
Okay,
don't have a theme off the top of my head, but we could think about it between now and then.
okay. If I had kind of a, uh Oh, sorry. If I had a theme, would you
Mhm.
want to hear it now or do you want to hear it in private?
Let's keep everybody in suspense.
Okay.
Tell me off the stream. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'll
And then
I'll
we'll announce
I'll
it.
I'll DM you a potential theme sometime in the next hour or two. Sometime
Okay,
tonight.
sounds good. All right,
Okay.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks again, everybody. It was great. Thank you again for submitting all your amazing poems. This is always super fun. So, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for coming.
Have a good one.
You too.